Greetings all, hope you're all doing well out there. Haven't been online for a wee while or done a live or done any new YouTube videos, but here we are. It's 20 to 3 on the 3rd of the 9th 2020, coming to you from top of the South Island, Nelson, New Zealand. Currently we're in level 2 lockdown. I think Auckland's in level 3. And there's all sorts of shenanigans going on over the globe, and a few people are starting to wake up to it, which is all good. So I thought we might get back to the root of things and start looking at some truth, which is bound up in the tree, which all starts from seeds. And so here we are. This is what they're trying to do at the moment. They're trying to bury us. But really all they're doing is creating fertile ground for the mass awakening that's happening. See, because we know that diamonds are cut in the rough, folks. And so that's what's going on. There's a bit of planting and a few new crops being established. Seeds are being planted. And that's how it is. So that's all I'm here to do today, is to plant some seeds and to help you to comprehend the fact that we're under mass mind control, and this is just the latest rollout. Your COVID-19 garbage is just the latest rollout of the next stage in the agenda, of course. We're all onto it now, and we're waking up, because again, it's fertile ground for people to start questioning things. Now, as I say in most of my vids, it's all caveat empty here. Warning, buyer beware. Let those that be deceived be deceived. Okay? So anything you're being told, or whoever's telling it to you, be very wary. And we are why. Be very wary of that. Stay in tune. Stay in your frequency. The intuition, your knowing, your own vibration of love, and keeping your frequencies clear. Again, we're going to go look into some words. Because if you've seen any of my other vids, you'll know that because of the duplicity and the doublespeak of the language, we're getting ourselves into all sorts of trouble. I'm not going to go into much of that today. I'm going to try and stay focused on the tree. The AncesTREE, actually, it's your tree. So I'm going to do a little bit of, I'll let you have a look at me. I'll switch it around. Actually, I should switch it around there just for a bit. Oh, I can't, actually. So yeah, here's my board here today. So my board's not made of wood, but boards are usually made of wood. And we want to try and get you on board. So we're going to start looking at the tree. Because the tree is the truth. And you might say, well, how does that work, Norm? Well, see, the tree is made of log. You see? That's how the trees are made of the logs with their trunks. The main part of the tree is a log. And that's, you know, you can see that. I see. That's pretty logical, eh? You can all see that. I see. You all see that. That's logical. That's the log. Again, this is just how I'm going to show you how there's interconnections with all the words, and they all stem from actually the 3 or the 4 main elements, because this is all elemental stuff. It's elementary when you think about it. That's of course the fire, earth, air and water. These are the bodies we are governed by, in and of, part of all these things here. And, you know, we all know about these things. We've all been taught these things: fire, air, water, earth, all the elements, because it's all elementary, it's elemental. And so we're going to talk about the ancestry. The ancestry. You see, the ancestry is your family tree, isn't it? Your family tree. And that's the truth. And that's fact, you fucker-pupper. That's your family tree. That's the truth. We like to get back to the truth of the matter and the heart of things. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to cover a bit of the logistics. I see the log, you see the truth is the tree. So we're going to branch out a little bit. Maybe we might even go out on a limb at some stage. But that's how it works. But we want to have good grounding. And we do that by being on the earth. And the fire, of course, fire's elemental of the sun. We need all these things here to be holy. To be, because there's quarters. These are the quarters, the headquarters. To contemplate these things in the temple of the headquarters. These are the things we need to get back to. The elements. It's elemental, like I say. So part of this is part of your ancestry. The tree of truth. The tree of knowledge. Again, there's knowledge there. Of course, that's, if you know any other vids, that's being a wee knoll on the edge. If you're on the edge of the knoll, you can see father. And that's part of your ancestry, isn't it? Your father. That's how that works. It's all logical. You'll get it. And logic, or logistics, is numbers, you see. That figures, doesn't it? Numbers, well, they're figures. We like the old fig tree too, don't we? That all figures. So logistics is a numbers game. And your family tree is all about the numbers, your ancestry. It's all part of your roots, isn't it? The roots of your tree, your ancestry. So that's how that works. It's pretty elemental. And you see, another thing that we express our truth in is words, or language, or words, and that's called dialogue. See, there's your log, there's your logistics again. It's your dialogue. Okay, the spellings. Okay, get over the spellings. You've got to get over the spellings a wee bit, and you've got to learn to despell, and design, and descript, and decipher. All these ciphers, okay? So it's all to do with the spellings, but it's also incorporated in as phonics, which is a seafarer's, the Phoenicians were seafarers, they gave us our phonics, which is a phony language. Telephony is a telephone, it's phony because you're not face to face. So you're telling phonies, these phonics. And they're all full of vowels. Got all sorts of vowels in the spelling. It's all actually very religious and biblical when you start looking at it. And not that I'm a religious man, but this stuff is all interladen with double speak and conveyance of deeper information. Because then we're in form, we're in uniform, we're information, and we all need information to be in formation. See, that's how that works. See how that works? So, let's get back to the tree. So if we stray from the trunk, we might go out on a limb. And we want to stay on the trunk line. Now, a tree is also relative to you in the fact that you have a trunk. Your trunk is your body. You have limbs too, don't you? That's how you are part of the tree. And the tree is the log, and the log is the truth, and the truth is a fact. And the facts of the matter are that we're being deceived. Very cleverly, but again, it comes back to this one, doesn't it? Buyer beware, let those that be deceived. That's how that works. And if you don't question everything, well, you know, question everything twice, in fact. Remember how that works? That's how that works. QE2. It's not Queen Elizabeth II, it's question everything twice, folks. That's what you got to do there. And then you're as king. Then you're as king, aren't you? And you're on the quest, seeking knowledge, the quest eye on. That's the quest you're on. You're seeking questions, so you're as kings and queens, of course. But anyway, I digress. So dialogue. So dialogue is how we convey information, and again, we need information to be information. Sorry, I'm just correcting some of my board here. I did a talk there the other night in Richmond here in Nelson, and my board got rubbed out, so I've had to rewrite a little bit. But anyway, if you want to help decipher some of this stuff and see how this works, then you can go back and check out some of my other videos. My YouTube channel is called Not the Norm, so check it out. So the ancestry, your family tree, the log, the truth, the knowledge of the history of your now. In fact, what got you to here to now. It's all in the genes too. The genealogy, genies. It's all in the genies. It's all magic. Hey, it's all in the genes. It's all in the genetics. The genetics are all in the logistics, which is a numbers game. It's all a numbers game. Every time it's a numbers game, folks. And we got the numbers. The logistics prove that. The statistics that they give you won't give you any information other than you're in the minority. But in fact, it's a numbers game. We've got the numbers. And they're snowballing and increasing daily. So, this is our ancestry. We all want to have a decent tree, don't we? But we don't want to have dysentery. You don't want to have dysentery, then you're in the shit. We want to have a decent tree, though. That means we have to have good foundation, good roots, good standing. These are all the things we need as a tree. But we also need these things as a being becoming, a human becoming, or humane, hopefully, we're becoming. So these are all things that we need. So this is how the tree is part of you and part of me. It's part of all of us. And when we have a log, we have a list, don't we? And then we have an entry. We have an entry on our list of our log, because it's all about the numbers, and we've got to take the numbers, and there's all sorts of, there's types of numbers. There's odd numbers, even numbers, so there's types. There's types. Now letters are also type, aren't they? They're a type, because we have them on a writer. Don't we? You see how that's working? You're following me there. You're seeing how this is working. Now, another interesting thing about trees is that they have a thing called bark. Yeah, bark is also the name of a ship, isn't it? Bark is the name of a ship. Ships are made of wood. Of course you would. You would agree with that. I'm sure you would. Ships are made of wood. Wood's from the bark is the tree is the log is the truth. It's a conveyor. The ancestry is a conveyor of your genealogy. Yeah, that's the ancestry. That's your tree. And there's all sorts of different branches to your ancestry. That's how that works. Now, so the log is truth, and it's therefore logic. It's expressed in numbers, giving us a logarithm. We get logarithms in numbers, don't we? Rhythms, of course, is energy in motion, which is emotion. Rhythm, it's just one of the few words in English language not considered to have vowels, even though Y isn't considered to be a vowel, a true vowel, but it is used as a vowel. And you always got to ask why, don't you? You always got to ask why, and you've got to be pretty vigilant when we seek this truth. Hey, that's how that works. Got to be vigilant. We've got to ask why. That's what we've got to do, folks. That's how that works. Okay. So we have. Wait a minute, I'm just going to grab me a drink. Excuse me. So we have the tree of life, the tree of knowledge, your ancestry, which is logic. It's a log. It was a log of the genealogy of how you got to the now. That's silent. Okay, silent. How you got to the now. Yeah? That's how you got to the now. That's how you are now at this point, because of your ancestry. And that's the truth, the knowledge, your family tree, the logic, the roots of your family. And it comes down through the dialogue. And of course there's a record. Got a record. Remember how the chords of things, the sound. Got to record things. Chords, we have all sorts of chords, don't we? Got to take note. Got to take note of the chords. Got to take notes of the chords. See, my drawing's not too good. But this is how all these things are interconnected and come back to all the elemental sides of things. The water. We're back on the water with the bark, which is a ship. And it's very interesting. The ships are on the water. And another thing that's made of wood, of course, is paper. Okay? Now, paper is called stationary. It's called stationary because it doesn't move. It doesn't move because there's no energy in motion. It's called stationary because it doesn't move. And energy in motion creates waves. We all like to wave as we say goodbye, as we have a goodbye and we wave. So this is the wave, the energy, the emotion of the paper. Once a pen, once you have put pen to the paper, then you have, with your energy, you've created motion on the page. Remember, the king would send his pages across to find out what's going on in his country. He would be asking what's happening in my domain, in my dominion. So we have paper is made from wood. You would agree with that, I'm sure. And the paper is stationary and doesn't move until we put our thought into ink, and then we can think. We think, we put our pen, we put our ink on the board or on the paper. It creates contract, actually. Straight away, you've got contract, folks. It's contractions there. But anyway, I won't get into that side of things because that gets into the law. That gets into, the legalese aspects of things. The rules, regulations, acts and statutes, okay? It's all fiction over there. We want to stay back into the realm of reality and the world of the living with our lawful, inalienable rights. And we write with a pen. I think that's how it works. What do you think? When we put our thought into paper, we think with our ink, but be careful that we're not slipping into a binding contract. Again, you know, let those that be deceived be deceived. And this is what's going on. The levels of deception here are very, very clever, but they're very real, and they're below your threshold, which is subliminal, until such time as these things are brought to your attention. Aten, here's one of your gods. Bring these things to your attention. Okay, trees stand to attention, don't they? They've got to have good standing. They can't be listing. They can't be listing on the log, because if your logistics are all about numbers and you're listed, then you're on board. Are we on board? Is that a ship again? Eh? On board? On board the ship. You see, in the paper, it's just stationary, and you get the emotion, which gives us waves. Then we're back onto the ship, and then we have over here, we have what's called, is that the papacy? Is that the papacy or the papacy? Oh, wait a minute, that's something to do with the church again too, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. Well, I'd say, so in between the waves, we have to move by ship, don't we? Oh, is that the bishop? Oh no, that's a bishop. On the papacy. You see what's happening here? Do you see how you've been uprooted? And you've been disconnected from the earth, which is the land, which gives you the solidity and firm, because it's firm on the land. You have affirmation, which again is the truth, which is logical. The truth is logical because it's logistics, it's numbers, it's a record. It's a record that is written. Usually, it used to be in the front pages actually of your Bible. Was the place where people would record their family tree, their ancestry, okay? And that's why, excuse me, one of the maxims of law is ignorance of the law is no excuse. How can that be? How can it be that ignorance of the law is no excuse? Well, ignorance of the law is no excuse because they're talking about this law, the law of the Bible, or the law of common law, of natural law, of God's law. Okay, I've talked about God being a very insightful word, and of course it is. It's a very insightful word. It's the gift of divinity that you have. Okay, that's how that works. The gift of divinity. Now you take a drop of water away from the ocean, is it still the ocean? It's still water. You've still got that divine connection. That's what that is. Okay, that's how that works. So your family history was recorded in this book here. And so ignorance of the law was no excuse because every home had a Bible in the old days. Every home had a Bible, which encompassed the law. Not the legal fictions, the law. Okay? So a lot of people are on board with this stuff over here, but they're being so deeply deceived that they're in unfathomable waters. They're in the law of the sea. They're drowning in the liquidity. And if you give any tree too much water, it drowns too. Okay? That's how that works. So we are intricately connected to the tree. We are the tree. You are the pinnacle of the forest, of the trees, of your ancestors. That's how that works. And that's the genie of us. That's the genes of us, folks. It's the genius. It's the genes of us. Your ancestry. Is this making sense? Or dollars? Hopefully it's making sense. Hopefully you're starting to see how all these things are connected. So again, we've got to get back to the centre of things. the truth. Now the tree is the truth. I was just thinking then, actually, it's interesting how we log our names as a history, and we also have a cord of wood as a record. We record things, don't we? Remember how the cord is all part of the accord dance? To anchor, because it's all part of the flow of the energy, of the vibration, of the sound, of the words, of the spellings that bring you to consent, that bring you to the consent, because you consent, because the knowledge will give you power, which is vibration. Knowledge is power, which is enlightenment. It's vibration, it's energy, gives you the ability to respond in the now, and to say no when you need to, and to atone, to be at one, to be attuned. They always talk about atonement in the Bible, don't they? What are they talking about? What are they trying to convey? These are the things we need to delve a little bit deeper into. So an anchor is also a thing on a ship, isn't it? We have an anchor, the cord, the anchored, the record is on a ship. And again, is it a bi-ship? Is it a double-speaking ship? Maybe it's a bishop, where you go and he will alter you, and you might even be the altar boy. Hey, are you one of the boys who've been altered in the church? Be very careful of the spellings that are being cast while you're in those places. Question everything twice, folks. So again, I will branch out. I'll leave the trunk line, possibly go out on a limb, but I won't go against the grain. Okay? Because the grain is the flow. The flow, we talk about water. Waters, the ships. Now, getting back to the ship aspect of it, boats are made of wood. Boats are made of wood. They're made of wood, and they convey cargo. They are a vassal that transfers things from port to port. It transfers a ledger, which is the logistics of all the stuff that's on board. It's got the numbers, it's got a list. The ship's got a list. And everyone's on the board, which is the wood. Of course you would. Of course you would, wouldn't you? Who wouldn't? I would. Okay. Now when we're feeling a little bit down, we've got to get back to the tree. So we have to go to the park. I'll just note that the word ark is in there, just as it is in the word bark, which is a ship. Now we go to the park, which has the trees made from the paper. Trees are made from, paper's made from the trees, and the list is made on the paper, which is the logistics, which gives us the numbers and the genealogy, the genius of us in the now. And so we go to the park, and we go and sit on the trees, because that's where the trees are. They're in the park, aren't they? And we go there for rest, don't we? We go there to have a rest. The forest, it's for rest. That's what it's telling you. That's where, if you're feeling low or down or not enough energy, this will help every time to rejuvenate you. Because then you're getting back on board, You're getting back on board, and you're starting to actually see the vassals that they're getting you to buy in their paper sea. That's how that works. Now you see, the ark is a vessel. You get that? Bark is a ship, It's also spelt, it's an arch. It's an arc. It's an arc, which is energy.